go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. With storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and I'm here with you, as I am on Saturdays, to share updates, activities, events, anything possible to help to develop and further empower our students, our young people, and this Saturday is no different. This Saturday I'll start off with our scholarship opportunities. Deadlines for most of them are drawing near or have passed, and I want to make sure for those persons who are not aware as yet that you have the opportunity to access some of those. So we have coming up, of course, the UVI scholarship. That one ends on the 31st of March. And so persons who are interested in applying, you should have graduated from the Clarence Fitzroy Bryan College, CFBC, or Nevis 6th form, and you can apply as long as you graduated from either of those institutions. Scholarships are only available to graduates who are interested in undertaking studies at UVI for a maximum of 4 years. The following documents are required to be delivered to the Ministry of Human Resources by Thursday, 31st March 2022. One original and one copy of a completed application form, one original and one certified copy of a birth certificate, originals and certified copies of high school and college certificates of qualification, and one original and one certified copy of the university acceptance letter. Application forms are available at the Ministry of Human Resources, and as I said, for all scholarships that fall under the Nevis Island Administration, forms can be found, or more information can be received by contacting the Ministry of Human Resources, specifically Mrs. Shanola Murray Gill and Mrs. Shelley Jones Liburd. We also have another scholarship that comes to a close next Friday, and that is the Republic of Azerbaijan Scholarship Offer 2022. The Nevis Island Administration, Ministry of Human Resources, is pleased to share information regarding the Azerbaijan Scholarship. This scholarship program is available to fully vaccinated individuals interested in pursuing studies at the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral levels. The scholarship covers tuition, monthly stipend, which includes meals, accommodation, and utilities, international flight once per year, and health insurance. The following documents must be included with the application form: 2 certified copies of diplomas and transcripts, 2 copies of passport, 2 notarized copies of medical certificates, including HIV, hepatitis test, and a 72-hour negative PCR test, 2 photos, and 2 copies of resume and motivation letter. Once again, those application forms must be submitted to the Ministry of Human Resources by Friday, 4th March. That's just around the corner, this coming Friday, 2022. We also have the NIA General Financial Assistance, and so the Ministry of Human Resources is pleased to inform that we are now accepting applications from persons wishing to pursue higher education and are interested in receiving financial assistance from the Nevis Island Administration, NIA. An individual may apply for financial assistance whether or not that individual is employed by the NIA. The significance of the financial assistance is measured by the government's priority areas, the individual's professional development, the strategic objectives of the country, and the contribution their education will make to the wider community. Kindly note that law, medicine, and business do not form part of the priority listing for 2022. And interested persons must adhere to the following guidelines for applications to be considered. A cover letter addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Human Resources, requesting financial assistance. The letter should state the course of study, why you wish to undergo the specified field of education, and how such training will influence your professional development. How will your professional development contribute to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the commencement date, and expected duration of studies. An original university acceptance letter. University applicants who have not received acceptance letters are encouraged to still apply to NIA, providing evidence that they have applied to an accredited university. A breakdown of course fees from the respective university and a completed financial assistance application form. Applications must be delivered to the Ministry of Human Resources at Pennes by March 31st, 2022. So those are some of the scholarships currently available, and please be reminded that for those who are interested in medicine or health sciences, there are scholarships available for 4 individuals in St. Kitts and Nevis from the University of Medicine and Health Sciences and Windsor University of Medicine. And so that is something that you should consider. For those who are interested in veterinary medicine, there is a similar scholarship for 4 individuals in the Federation from the Ross University in St. Kitts. So we have several opportunities available to our young people, to our people on a whole, and we don't want to miss out on these opportunities. Listeners and students, we know that we have many challenges. We've had many challenges over the last 2 years, and so any opportunity for further growth that does not come at an individual or personal cost, I will count that a great benefit. And so I encourage you, I know that some of you might have missed the Taiwan scholarship because that closed out already, but I encourage you to try to access the ones which are still available. I know that you will not regret it, especially if you receive the scholarship. And so we're encouraging you to access what is available, take advantage of them so that we can ensure that we get the best possible outcome. And so, as I said, many parents have had a very challenging past few months, and so we want to make sure that children have access to these opportunities and they're aware, young people on a whole. And then the final scholarship, the Cedric Ambrister Scholarship 2022, specifically for electrical or mechanical engineering. The Nevis Electricity Company Limited, NEVLEC, invites interested persons to apply for the Cedric Ambrister Scholarship in electrical or mechanical engineering at the University of the West Indies. The scholarship is only tenable at the University of the West Indies and will only be awarded for mechanical engineering or electrical engineering studies. Scholarship awardees are given a sum of US $10,000 per annum, and this scholarship is open to any individual who meets the following criteria. Birth certificate or certificate of citizenship must be in division by birth or citizenship. University acceptance letter, certificates of qualification, and high school and college transcripts. Kindly note that the candidates will be shortlisted taking into consideration their commitment to continuous learning, consistent outstanding academic performance, as well as demonstration of a balanced approach to academics and extracurricular activities. As part of the selection process, shortlisted applicants will also be interviewed. Scholarship awardees will be required to provide 2 guarantors in order to fulfill bonding obligations with NEVLEC. Furthermore, awardees must commit to working at NEVLEC for a period of 3 years immediately following completion of studies. To apply, persons should visit NEVLEC's website to retrieve an application form, and completed applications must be received by Monday, 16th May 2022. Kindly address all applications to Mrs. Curleen Liebert, Human Resources Manager, Nevlec, Value Mart Complex, Long Point Road, Nevis. So that is the information for you on the scholarships which are available. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know, we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. The storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Department of Education, and I'm here with you on Saturdays to share information, updates, activities with you as it relates to our students and our young people, and this Saturday is of course no different. And so the final announcement in relation to opportunities, well, at least at this stage, would be the upcoming essay competition. The deadline is on Monday, and I have been sharing this for just about the entire calendar year. But the Office of the Integrity Commission has an essay competition open right now, currently, and closes on Monday for students between the ages of 15 and 19. The topic: corruption begets more corruption and fosters a corrosive culture of impunity. Let me repeat. Corruption begets more corruption and fosters a corrosive culture of impunity. The minimum word count, 1,200 words. The maximum, 1,500 words. Expected font, Cambria. Size 12, 1.5 line spacing, 1 entry allowed per student. Submissions must include a cover letter to show the student's first and surnames, date of birth, school attending, physical address, telephone number, email, and the word count. The students are also expected to submit a bibliography page. The bibliography page does not count or is not included in the overall word count. Essays must be students' original work. No plagiarism is allowed. Essays with plagiarized work will be disqualified. Essay authors' names cannot be mentioned anywhere in the essay. This will cause the entry to be automatically disqualified. A committee of markers will examine the entries and select the best 5. These will then be assessed by a selection committee for final selection. The decision of the selection committee will be final and binding on all of the contestants. Evaluation criteria: comprehension of a central theme, 20%, coherence and structural organization, 20%, content and creativity, 40%, language, style, expression, and clarity, 20%. The certification and award: winner $750, second place $500, third place $250. The student must bring a physical copy of their essay to the Office of the Integrity Commission, Delisle Walwyn Building, top floor, Liverpool Row, Bastier St. Kitts, or the Nevis Integrity Commission, Rams Complex, Stony Grove, Nevis. And the 3 winning essays will also be published on the Integrity Commission's page or website. So that's the information on that activity. Also, I want to take this opportunity to alert the general public that
this week, of course, will be a very active week for our schools, and so we want to commend schools ahead of time for the hard work that has been going into this term, the attempt to ensure that we balance sports and academics, ensuring that we continue to close those gaps which were created during the pandemic and the physical school closures, of course, which were a consequence of the pandemic. And so one of those consequences was the delay of the graduation ceremony for our students at the Charlestown Secondary School and Nevis Sixth Form, and the graduation ceremonies will take place this Wednesday. Please note that the general public cannot just walk onto the graduation ceremony. The event is by invitation only. However, a live stream will be available for persons who would like to support the various graduates during this time. So during the morning session on Wednesday, we will see, and that's the 2nd of March, we'll see the ceremony for the Charlestown Secondary School students who have completed their 5th form studies, and that will take place at 9 a.m. And then at 3 p.m. we will see the ceremony for the students who completed coursework at the Nevis 6th Form. So it is going to definitely be a very exciting day, and as I said before, we want to commend all of the stakeholders for their contribution. We also want to thank the parents and the teachers and the students for their patience, as we had to ensure that it was safe for the activity to happen before having the ceremonies and putting them in place. So, as I said, thank you so much for that, and we look forward to celebrating with the students on Wednesday. In the morning at 9 o'clock, we'll see the Charlestown Secondary School students, and at 3 o'clock, we will see the Nevis 6th Form students having their ceremony. And this, of course, is the class of 2021, and I know it's an anomaly. We don't usually see a 2021 ceremony in 2022 or in the following year, but I don't think that there have been many things that have been usual since the year 2020 started. Many unusual things have happened, and so we are just happy that we're able to celebrate the students, and their parents can also be able to celebrate them as well. And so that is the announcement for the graduation, to allow you to have an opportunity, log in, and you'll be able to follow and support and celebrate with the students. Additionally, the official track and field calendar has been released for the sports meets for this term, and we are seeing the first meet taking place on Tuesday. St. James Primary School will start their sports track and field meet season off with their sports meet at their school grounds at 12:30 p.m. and then Cicely Brown Integrated School will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 o'clock p.m. and they will have that on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll see the Joycelyn Labrador Primary School at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12:45 p.m. And then we go over into the following week. And on the following week, Wednesday, the 9th of March, we see the St. Thomas's Primary School having their sports meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. Then on the Thursday, Elizabeth Pemberton Primary at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. And then on the Friday, the Ivor Walters Primary School will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 12:30 p.m. And that will close out week 2 of the track and field meets. And then we navigate into week 3, where we will see on the Wednesday, Charlestown Primary School. They will have their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 p.m. On Thursday, Gingerland Secondary School, Nevis Athletic Stadium as well at 12:30 p.m. And then on the Friday, Violet O. Jeffers Nichols Primary School will have their meet on the school grounds at 1 p.m. On the 22nd of March, Tuesday 22nd March, we will see the Nevis Academy having their meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium at 1 o'clock. And then on the 29th of March, we will see the Maud Cross Preparatory School having their meet on Tuesday 29th March. Then the final meet is actually on the 29th of April, and that is the meet for Charlestown Secondary School, and they will be at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. In order for us to ensure that we carry out these activities in as safe a way as possible, there are many protocols which will be in place, and so please note that one of those protocols is assigning a set number of tickets per stand and for the grounds, and so tickets will be on sale at the schools ahead of the meet, and tickets will also be on sale at the grounds. So please note that as much as possible, we encourage you to purchase your tickets at the school ahead of time, and please be guided accordingly. We're also asking that the general public cooperates. We need you to cooperate so that we can continue these activities safely. And so if you are designated or you're placed in a particular stand, please make sure that you are complying with the officials, the authorities, in remaining in that stand during the sports meets. We do not want overcrowding. We do not want individuals having to be in excessively close proximity. Of course, we know if you're sitting with your family or your work family and you decide to sit closer together, you spend all day together every day, and so that's not an issue. But we do not want persons, of course, excessively gathering in mass. So we are trusting that although it is an exciting time, and I know that parents and family members and community members are very excited about this, we are also encouraging all of you to comply, not to give too much resistance, and remember that we are transitioning from the center or the middle of a pandemic to finding some form or state of normalcy, and we want to encourage you to assist us as we try to create an environment that is somewhat normal for our students. We also want to inform that the tickets are on sale for, I said the tickets were on sale, but I didn't give the price. So they're on sale for $3 for children and $5 for adults. And if you want to park on the parking lot within the track, the tickets are on sale for parking at $15 for the car park, and then you will purchase the tickets for the persons in the vehicle as well. So $15 if you want to park in the parking lot, and then of course you purchase all additional tickets after that. So I want to say I encourage you to continue to be safe. We encourage you to do what is right. We will have protocols in place. We're asking in persons to ensure that upon entry that you are wearing your mask, or you will not be admitted to the stadium. We are also asking that you comply with the sanitization procedures which are expected in getting into the stadium. So listeners, we want to thank you for your support and for supporting the students, and we encourage you to attend as many of the sporting activities as you can so that the students can feel your support. We thank you so much, and we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back with a special guest.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great let's gather round, and adventure is always waiting. Storytelling
No, we have
us,
to.
and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from morning to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Oh, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton, and we're here every Saturday to share with you opportunities, events, activities, information that can benefit and help to further develop our students, our young people here on Nevis. And of course, this Saturday is no different. I shared with you a wealth of information, scholarship information, essay competition information, and of course our 2022. See, I was talking about 2020 earlier. Our 2022 athletic calendar for our school level sports meets, which start this week, and of course our graduation ceremony for the students at the Charlestown Secondary School, and that happens this Wednesday. So we have a lot of things happening, a lot of wheels turning, some behind the scenes and some of course in the fore. And I have with us this morning some special guests, and we'll get a chance to have a chit chat and share some information. And once again, I think it will be a wealth of information that you, our listeners, can benefit from. So I will allow our guests to introduce themselves.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Terry Andrews. I'm a director with the Swim to Win program, and very happy to be here with Zahnela and on your show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Ann McClendon, and I am the developer of the Swim to Win program here on Nevis. And I am just on island briefly. I wish I could stay longer, but just about 12 days for this trip.
Well, it's always awesome to see you, Terry, of course, and especially amazing to see you, Anne, since we haven't gotten to meet up since you've been here. But it's a pleasure to have representatives from Swim to Win here on Youth on the Go at any opportunity that we have to do so. It's always a privilege. Of course, Anne is here for many very important reasons, and so we'll allow for you to share some of the exciting information, some of the exciting updates as to while Anne has been here, what has transpired. It's been a whirlwind of a week with many very impactful and, as I said, important changes. So, Anne, you can tell us a bit about what has happened since you have come on island.
Thank you, Zahnela. So it has been a whirlwind of a week plus, but we have accomplished so much in that short time. So one of the main reasons for me to be down here is to launch the swim program as part of the school curriculum. And that has been a long-term goal of ours since we started Swim to Win in January of 2020. So that happened this week. It's a milestone, it's a landmark, and it's just the first step. But the idea is that we will include Learn to Swim into the school curriculum. So on Wednesday past, we started with St. Thomas Primary School. We had the students come out, and this is part of their school day, and got them into the sea. And then on Thursday, we had the students from CBIS, and we did their program up at Eden Life. And Dr. Miranda Fellows is so generous in allowing us to come up and use her pool and facilities up there. And I have to say, these kids were so excited, and they were so well behaved and so eager, and everyone did a really, really wonderful job. So this is just the beginning. This is a pilot program for 5 weeks. And then our hope and plan and goal, Zahnela, is that after summer break, then it will be part of the year-long curriculum.
All right, so thank you so much for sharing that and that information. And I want to say that, of course, the students are not only excited, but part of Swim to Win is to ensure that our people on Nevis, our children and general public, that they have access to proper swimming techniques, and that the fear of the sea is is minimized and removed. And tell the public again, because of course we've talked about Swim to Win on many occasions, but tell us again why the Swim to Win program started, and then we'll be able to see the connection between what is happening now and what, of course, the initial goals were.
Exactly. So when we started Swim to Win in 2020, it was really in commemoration and honor of the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Christina. And we lost so many lives because people didn't know how to swim. And I think that event, and just my own experience here meeting so many people who lost a loved one on that, really kept people from the sea and enjoying the sea. So the very, very first goal of ours with Swim to Win is to help people address and deal with the fear of the sea. And over the course of the last 2+ years, I've trained over 25 instructors here on Nevis, and part of the training is to help people overcome and deal with the fear of the sea. So that's the very first thing. So oftentimes with fear, we don't get rid of it, but the idea is, what can we replace that with? So we replace it with fun, family time, and fitness. And
3 Fs.
3 Fs, that's it. So we have to, so we try and move that fear out into the corner of their brain and allow them to focus on those 3 very positive, wonderful things. So addressing fear, and really the overriding goal with all of our programs is it's a life-saving skill. And so we are teaching all ages. We're starting at 6 months. Our oldest swimmer...
6 months?
6 months, yes. So originally we started with 6-year-olds, and as we've continued, we've rolled out new programs, but I have to train the instructors first. So we started a parent-child class, so we go as young as 6 months, which is fabulous. That was ongoing this morning when we left the beach at Yachtsman. And then our oldest swimmer was 87. So we are all ages, all abilities, but addressing fear is the first thing, and then we move towards, okay, we need to teach life-saving skills. So how to float, how to tread water, so that if something ever happened when you were out on the water, that you could save your life. And again, to just avoid ever having the Christina disaster, something like that ever happen again. And then we move from there into proper swim technique, freestyle backstroke, and as our swimmers and students progress, then we do breaststroke and butterfly. We're also starting pool competition, so Winston Crook, who's the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Swimming Federation, has built an in-the-sea pool for us with platforms and starting blocks and lane lines, and it's hopefully we'll get one on land at some point, but in the meantime, it's fabulous. So we will host a swim meet when I'm back down in April, the weekend after Easter. So we'll invite Eldon over from St. Kitts and have a swim meet here.
Oh, that's
so we are growing. But back to your question, and you know, when I start talking about swimming and Swim to Win in Nevis, my kids just go find the nearest seat because they know I'm going to be a while. But it's to address the fear and then teach life-saving skills, and then we go from there. And these instructors are fabulous, and they will take a swimmer as far as they want to go.
And they will take the non-swimmer.
And a non-swimmer.
We know.
I'm telling you.
You're a living example,
Yes,
Zahnela.
and I'm telling you, the thing about it is, and I think the wonderful approach of getting children involved in swimming is that at those ages, the fear isn't there yet. So, and they're not carrying the burden of the Christina disaster. It's been 50 years. What the fears that they would have would probably be what their parents and grandparents have projected, but in and of themselves, they would not carry that fear innately. And so children are exploratory by nature. They would try different things and follow instructions and do those things. And so I think that starting swimming at an early age is fundamental. It's important.
It is. It's very important. And if you think about it, the closer we get to our birth, the more natural swimming is, because that's how we all started. And you see with these 6 months children, how good they are, how comfortable they are in the water. And over 70% of our Earth is water. We're mostly made up of water, so it's actually a very natural thing. It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it. Let me tell you. And of course, we'll get a chance to share experiences before you leave, so that the public can know that I'm not just talking because I can talk. I'm talking because I experienced every level of it, even myself. But let's focus a little bit on the opportunity for our children, our school-aged children. So many years ago, 2019 or so, I think, Jamia started talking to me about the Swim to Win program, and it was coming up and that kind of thing. And then we looked at, and we talked about maybe long-term, we might be able to get an on-island, on-land pool, especially an Olympic-sized pool, so that they can be able to transition. Although we know that the basic foundation tenets of Swim to Win is to provide those skills, we also know that swimming is a sport. And so I don't know of a swimmer who has competed in the Olympic Games from Nevis. I know we have had swimmers for the Special Olympics, but we have not had swimmers for the Olympic Games. And so it was important to us in education to have the opportunity for our students to be able to participate. I think we got a window of opportunity. We have our early release Wednesdays, and so you don't have to reshuffle and juggle, because that's the mechanism in place already. And so we were able to say, okay, let's start with these students, and we got the students. We got the initial cohort that we were looking for, and I would like to hear a bit about how that went on Wednesday with those students at St. Thomas's Primary, being their first day. I know I heard excitement, but what were some of the things that obtained? What happened during that first session, and what can be expected in the next few sessions over the 5-week period? And this is specifically for parents who, in the upcoming months, when we introduce it at different schools and give them the opportunity, that they can feel secure. Part of our reservation comes from many parents who, over the years, have said, my children will not be going to swimming without me. I have to sit on the beach, which is, and those are some of, I think, incidentals, once again, of our history. You can't ever forget your history. And so tell us a bit about what the program looked like and what can be expected in each of the 5 weeks.
Okay, and I honor the parents and their apprehension about sending their children out with us. And so I want to address that and our extreme level of safety protocol at every step of the way. Before I do, I want to take a sidestep and just address the whole Olympic experience. And what I have told all of the instructors, and I repeat it all the time, is that you should look at every swimmer who comes to us, whether they've been in the water or they're fearful, whatever, as a potential Olympic athlete. So we want to train them that way from the very beginning. Obviously, we're addressing fear, we're transitioning them, but everybody has that potential. And I want you to train them the right way from the very start, and that will set them up for potential future in swimming. And whether that's the Olympics or as part of the international body of swimming, FINA, or here at St. Kitts Nevis Swimming Federation, but look at them that way, treat them that way, and train them that way. So in terms of our school programs, this is very similar to what we've been doing on the weekends. We have our large group on Sunday, our small groups on Saturdays. But we have a process and protocol, and it's all built around safety. So for me, yes, do I want them to learn to swim technically correct and to have fun? Those are goals. But the overriding part of Swim to Win is safety. That is our first, middle, and last concern. So as our swimmers arrive, we have a check-in, we have a sheet, we know who's there, everybody checks in, and then we provide a swim cap and goggles to each swimmer. Our swim caps and our shirts, you'll see us, we are yellow. So when you are in the water, whether it's the sea or the pool, you need to be identifiable. We have eyes on the swimmers all the time, and we need to be able to see them. So a swim cap is very important. That's the reason we wear a swim cap. It also, for the gals, keeps our hair out of our eyes, but really it's a safety measure. And so we wouldn't send someone out in a black swim cap or dark purple or blue. We want to be able to see you. So it's bright yellow. And then our instructors are in bright yellow. So again, just very identifiable. So the swimmers come, we check them in, they get their swim caps, then they're fitted for goggles. Our students will be using the same swim cap and goggles from week to week. We collect those at the end, we clean them, and then we'll have them ready for the swimmer the next week. Once they get that set, then we do a warm-up, and our instructors will vary that from week to week, but we don't do any physical activity without warming up, especially if they've been sitting in class or sitting on the bus, and we can do that on land, and we have all sorts of things. So in swimming, you use all your muscles. So we, start with neck and arms and shoulders and your core, your legs, and we just try and make that fun. So we get their heart rate up, get them warmed up, and then we transition them into the water. And on the very first day of any session, we assess, how are these kids? Are there any that are a little apprehensive? And you can tell when they show up and as you're walking down to the water, and when you see somebody tense up or grab a hand of an instructor, then we know, okay, we're going to take this a little bit slower. So anybody who comes out, we meet them wherever they are. And so even though it's a group setting and a group learning experience, it really is individual. We don't throw people off the pier. It's not sink or swim. That was ages ago,
Yes,
and I'm
yes.
afraid that's what sort of set up some of this fear. We will literally hold your hand and walk you into the sea. And then we go from there. So, as with anything, people progress quicker than others, and we start with groups, and then we can move people around just depending on what their ability is and their enjoyment. But we keep the kids moving. I know everyone says it's a little bit chilly in the water right now, so we keep them moving, keep them warm, keep them having fun. But we get them in, and the very first thing we do is blow bubbles. When you put your face in the water, you don't hold your breath. Everyone thinks you should, which makes sense, but you want to start to exhale. That also helps you relax. And then we work on floating, on our back, on our stomach, treading water. So again, those are the life-saving skills. And then we go from there, teaching the kick, and then the arms, and then the actual swim strokes.
Okay. And from experience, over a 5-week period, how many children are generally, and of course it's from one child, it's like academics. It will not be consistent across, but on average, generally, how many children are able to at least be able to survive in the water following those experiences and encounters over the 5 weeks?
Well, the goal is that they all will.
Okay.
That in those 5 weeks, everyone who comes through, and I'm not worried at the start about a pretty stroke or a fast one, but it's that survival.
Okay.
Yeah, and understanding what happens when you're in the water and how the water actually can lift you up. If you relax, the seawater will help keep you up.
All right, awesome. So any other information you want to share around children and swimming and anything that you might have missed or we might have missed, because I want to talk a bit about the Swim to Win program itself, although we will be capturing many children through the school. Parents might want to know, suppose I, as a parent, want to bring my child to Swim to Win, what does that look like? And, of course, if I want to come myself, what does that look like?
Which you have.
Yes.
Well, as you can tell, we are passionate. We are passionate about swimming and can talk all day about swimming, and we're passionate about the program that we've developed. We are so fortunate with our relationships with your department, Department of Youth, Department of Sports. This partnership has been amazing. That's why we've been able to achieve what we've been able to achieve. And the fact that we've had so many new instructors come in and has trained up on this visit, 15 new instructors. A lot have come through your department, Department of Education, and Department of Sports, which is going to allow us to make this sustainable into the schools. And again, they're not fully trained in one training session. Ann comes back. This is a growing program, and our instructors continue to improve with their skill sets. But we're excited, and I don't know if you want to talk about, Ann's coming back down in April,
Okay.
so we definitely are having the youth beach games on Easter Monday, which is going to be so exciting. So if you're listening, make sure that you contact Department of Youth. They're going to be putting that information out. So this will be the second annual Youth Beach Games on Easter Monday. And then that's going to be followed this year by a swim camp. So a 4-day swim camp, sort of like
in Easter?
In Easter.
Oh, nice.
In Easter. So it'll be similar to how we did the Christina camps in the summer, which again we'll be doing in July. But this will be a 4-day camp. There'll be a morning session, afternoon session. So again, offered free, sponsored through government and some of our stakeholders. So that'll be exciting in April. And then in the meantime, we continue with our small groups. So for anybody who's interested in whether they're older or whether they're young, we're going to be starting our new Saturday small groups next week. So those will be going on through March. So as Ann likes to say, this is a year-round program. We have a very full calendar, and then we start again on our Swim to Win Sundays in May and June, and then Ann's back down in July. We do some couple of weeks of Christina camps, and so it's ongoing.
Yes, and so parents, if a family wants to join or do a small group, what would they be expected to do? How do they reach out? How do they get more information? Because as I said, persons are listening, and if they are as excited as I am, I'm going to make 2 minutes to just share my own experience in a bit. But if they're as excited as I am about the potential for at least being able to get the life-saving skills that are necessary, and then perhaps one day making it a relaxing activity, that's possible as well. How do they reach out?
Well, so for right now, as I said, we're just finishing up our Swim to Win, our one session. So for right now, the small groups would be the way to get involved straight away. So we're going to be starting those, the new session next Saturday. So I would encourage everybody who is interested to reach out to me personally.
How do they find you, Terry?
664-9168, or through Department of Sport.
Okay.
They can always go down to Department of Sport, and they have all the contact information. And so the small groups will be starting now or next week. That will carry us through March.
Okay.
Obviously, there will be a lot of advertising going on for the Easter.
Definitely.
For the beach games and the swim camp for Easter, so that's April. And so pay attention for flyers on that, and you can, again, always register at Department of Sport.
But I'm going to just interject here, Zahnela. We also do small groups at other times and private individual lessons, and that if there's a conflict on Saturday and a Tuesday works or a Thursday, I mean, we do have instructors who will make themselves available other days, other times by arrangement, and that can be individual, small group. So it's not just the Saturday and Sunday. I wanted to make sure that
everyone,
we put that out there.
Yes, and of course, I took advantage of the individual because my schedule is just the worst.
It is. Zahnela is very difficult to get. So we meet you wherever you are.
So we have to make sure that we carve out the time because it's so hard to do. But I can share my own experience. And I never realized that I had a fear of water, which is interesting. So I didn't realize that I had that fear. It wasn't, maybe it was somehow embedded in the background, but anybody would ask me, no, I'm good, I just don't like going to the beach, but I'm good. And so I started off with Anne last year, and we did the session the day when she was about to leave, and we had some fun in the pool. And so we kept trying to do the Saturdays, but I will be here, then I will be, different activities and competing. So we ended up doing a session in December. Yes, the water was very cold, but I think we had a great time, and I surprised myself every day, and it got easier each time. Not easier necessarily technically, but easier to at least go into the water and trust. Because for me, they say, for example, lay back as though you're laying in bed. When I lay in bed, I can see that hard frame. You're telling me to and in my mind, I would sink. There's no way you're going to tell me that I would not sink. And so those are some of the things that I had to personally get over. And I must say that the team, they were always patient, and I can attest to that. They were patient, they were kind, gentle, and they would allow you to explore and tell you, no, I'm right here, and they were reassuring. And I think that for anyone, I would strongly encourage being part of Swim to Win, even if you have to do it during your vacation and set aside a week to focus on that, or 2 weeks to focus on that. I would highly encourage you, as families, as small groups, maybe even office groups, whatever it is something that I think would be meaningful, beneficial, and at the end of the day, we travel on the water pretty often. We go back and forth to St. Kitts in the various ferries, and we want to always ensure that we are safe enough and that we never have a repeat of 1970. We want to make sure that we can safely navigate and at least be able to survive until somebody comes to our rescue. And so I encourage all of you, and Terry is one who ensures that we stay on task, and she works with my schedule so well. Sometimes I'm like, Terry, I'm going to finish my meetings at 5. We can talk at 5:30. I'm sorry, Terry, I'm still in here at 7. And then we get to talk later. So, and of course, Anne, I want to thank you for your continued support. We spoke about the persons who were able to get their training this time around. And of course, I'm noticing that some teachers are coming on board, which is amazing and awesome, because that would help us long term in being able to schedule. But what levels do we have persons trained at currently? What is the highest level, and how do those levels look like, and what are we expecting of those persons?
Of our instructors?
Yes.
Okay, so we have several instructors who started with the program in January of 2020. And over the course of the last 2+ years, even though I was not able to be on island as originally scheduled because of COVID, I've continued to train them. So they have over 2 years worth of training. Some of that was virtually, but I did those every week through quite a few months of the pandemic, and have come down. I was here last July, did some training this time. So they are improving their own skills as swimmers, but also their knowledge about swimming, different aspects of it, different strokes. And as you see with anything else, we have people who, sort of gravitate towards one thing, whether it's the fearful women or the little kids or the adults. So our instructors are becoming very experienced. When you come into Swim to Win as a potential instructor, we ask you to volunteer. So all of our training, everything I do, is provided for free to our instructors. And so we ask that you make sure that you're committed to our program, that you like it. So they start as in-water volunteers, and then we move to a level 1 instructor, and that comes with remuneration. And then we go to a level 2 instructor. And we do have several of those. They'll get paid more, and that's based upon their experience and all their training.
Wonderful. Okay, so we have just about 1 minute left, and so I want to thank you both for coming and for sharing with us. And if you need more information on Swim to Win, you can visit the Department of Sports, or you can call Terry at
664-9168.
All right, and so Anne, of course, you're only a stranger here once, so welcome to Nevis once again, and we look forward to the exciting activities for the rest of the year, and you have to come back when you return for the next round in April. And so listeners, we ask for your continued support, listeners and viewers, and we look forward to a wonderful week this week. We look forward to the completion of a great program with our children, and continuing that for a long time to come. And so we want to thank you for all of your contributions, ladies, and of course listeners, for your patience and for your attention this morning, and we look forward to meeting up with you next week.
And Zahnela, truly from our heart, thank you.
You're welcome.
We love you. You're part of our family.
I love you too. I love you
You're
too.
part of our family.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
With all the power from the tower.